Hey guys, good evening. So in this video, what I'm going to share with you today is something that I'm very much questioned around all the time. And that is, how do you set up an agency after you've picked your niche? Now in the program that I have within the accelerator, I walk all of my students step by step through picking your niche, i.e. your industry that you're going to be representing, setting up the agency, how to actually create the offer and prospect, and then how to close your prospects and make them clients for your agency and your freelancers to do the work. Now in this video, I'm going to give you a step-by-step of just a bit of insight on the process on starting an agency from scratch, and more or less taking you through the process that I will go about doing when I'm setting an agency up. Now for me, setting the agency up is not the priority. A lot of the time, a lot of these programs that are out here right now are more geared towards and centered around the priority being setting up the agency. But the big problem that a lot of agency owners are having is they've spent loads of money on programs and got all the expertise and all the knowledge. They have the agency ready, but guess what? They haven't got the ability or the know-how on how to secure and close clients on behalf of the agency. And that is exactly what we have perfected and we share within the Sales Agency Accelerator program. We not only have the scripts, but more importantly, the know-how on how to organically get prospects and close them for your agency in order for them to become clients and for you to scale the right way. So in this video, I'm going to walk through with you step by step on setting up an agency. And in this case study, I'm going to use a content creation agency and walk you through the steps. So let's go. All right, so step one, I'm going to break this down so it's more simple and digestible for you to understand and in line with how we kind of teach it in our Sales Agency Accelerator. Now we know we're going to start off with creating a content creation agency as our example. So the first step that we emphasize is incorporating the business. Now it doesn't matter if you're in the US, if you're in the UK, if you're in Europe, it's imperative that you incorporate the business. Now we do have some tips and advice on incorporating, but once you've incorporated the business, you can then set up a bank and literally be up and running and ready to actually receive your first clients and payments. What we do suggest in the agency is the right banking that can get you up and running quickly, but at the same time, this is still something that you can do from your home right now. But the main thing to emphasize is that the incorporation of this agency defines that this is now a business. So it's exciting, but at the same time, it is a business. It will be paying taxes. So you have to understand that this is way beyond being just an opportunity. It is actually a change in your lifestyle. So step one is incorporating the business and making sure that your agency is a legal entity and ready to receive its first customer. Now, step two would be choosing your niche. Now, luckily in this case study, we know which niche we're going for, but in the Agency Accelerator, we provide a number of options of niches you can pick from. So in this step, we don't have to worry because we know exactly what we're doing. But it's just good to always have an eye and be aware that there are a number of niches and other industries that you can create your sales agency around. However, when you pick one and you know what it is, you're sticking to it and not using any others. So it's about picking one niche, not multiple and triple services, just one. So let me show you what happens in the next step. So step three is a really important part of your agency business model. And that is because it's to do with setting up your pricing and your offer. Now, let me just give you some examples of how as a content creation agency, you can set up an offer and set up your pricing so you can begin to have an offer to bring to the market. Let me show you in this video here. So I'm going to break this down for you, very simple. And I'm just going to give you an example here because as I mentioned to you before, in the Sales Agency Accelerator, we really focus on helping our students to really set up real, tangible offers that they can bring to the market space on behalf of their agency. And in this case, we're looking at a content creation agency. And in the context of content creation, I mean through copywriting. So I just want to look at an example of what setting up a content creation agency offer could look like. Now, in this case, as I mentioned to you before, content creation is becoming a very, very, very big in-demand service, especially when it comes down to copywriting. Copywriting is more purchase than you know it. So some of the captions and Instagrams that you see these days that are compelling, that have the long write-ups, are normally provided by content creation copywriting agencies, and they are engaging. They equal a lot more interaction, and in turn secure more bookings for the brands or the individuals that have a product to sell at the end of them. So what I'm looking at here is just an example of an offer that could be positioned for a content creation agency. So 9 out of 10 times you're going to be positioning your agency to provide a monthly retainer-based service, because social media, for example, including Facebook, LinkedIn, and Facebook and Instagram, my bad, are all ongoing things. So it's very easy to secure a monthly condition in which you can provide a service. So just here briefly, I put here 1,500, and it can be more, to provide a number. Let's say it's a number between 5 to 8 solid posts which are going to be catered towards having specific copy which is going to have a call to action to a product that the individual is trying to sell. Another fee I've added here is the monthly management fee, which is setting up the content to be placed, whether it's on the social media or just uploading it as drafts so that it's ready to be posted, and just overseeing the posts and seeing that the grammar and everything else is deployed the right way. This very quickly can bring the monthly income to around £2,000, which presents an offer which essentially has a higher ticket value. Now, what you have to remember here is that as a content creation agency, you are selling pretty much the copywriting service as well as the management service fee. Now, this is, as I said to you, a very simple example just to give you an understanding. Now, what you'd then be doing is getting contractors that you could deliver the copywriting for a fixed rate every month for around 500 per month, and you give them a fixed number that they have to give you back. But the beauty of it is you're giving them the guarantee, and then your agency is profiting nothing less than 1.5 per month when it comes to getting the client onto the agency books, paying the contractors, and then being left with a profit. And as you can see very quickly, it's so easy to get to 15,000 per month. It only takes around 10 clients. And with the script that we use to outreach, close, and be confident in asking people to pay the higher ticket fee of £2,000, even £3,000, depending on the service, is very quick to scale it and get it to 10 clients, which will quickly get you to the 6 figures that a lot of people are aspiring to touch. But at the same time, it's just about making sure you understand that when it comes to setting up the offer in the accelerator, we really help and mentor our students in creating a perfect one. This is just an example. It's very vague, and unfortunately I can't spend the whole day here creating offers for agencies that don't exist. But this is just an idea to let you understand that we don't complicate the offers. We want to have a one-time clear offer so that we understand what we get. Of course, the offer will be a little bit more detailed, so it will include things like how many posts are going to be in there. You know, it might include storage. It could include, you know, advanced proofreading. You know, there are little things that you can add in, but the goal is to just keep it straightforward so your customer doesn't have to overthink. If I'm paying $1,500 a month, I'm getting how many posts, and on top of that, if I'm paying $500, what's the management inclusive of? And that's what you're going to be selling. We're not going to be selling every service that is under the books when it comes to copywriting. Keep it simple. But this is just an example of setting up an offer. And of course, as I said in the accelerator, we go a lot more detail into how to create that specific offer to really get the vendor, the prospect under your thumb and ready to use your service. So step 4 is a very vital step because it is based on creating your landing page. Now, your landing page is really important because it is exactly where all of your prospects and clients that are potentially ready to sign up with you are going to land in order to book calls, as well as to understand a little bit more about what your agency is offering. Now, in the actual accelerator, we provide plug and play funnels that you can literally start using right away. And more importantly, here's a small example of how it looks. However, what you're able to then do is focus primarily on getting the bookings and literally getting people to convert, become customers. So the landing page is literally the difference between a prospect becoming a conversation and a meeting, and that meeting turning into a client. So it's really important, but we do share and give all of these resources in the accelerator. So step 5 is an important part, and I definitely think it's one that you should really take serious, and is based on finding the contractors that are going to be delivering the service. Now here I just want to share with you a few options that you could use to source and find talented contractors that are going to be able to deliver the service on behalf of your agency as well as a content creation agency. All right, guys, so I'll keep this one brief, but make sure you understand. So when it comes to us now finding a copywriter for our content creation agency, what I would do personally is I would, use a freelancer platform that is out there right now with freelancers that are on standby ready to work. Now, here are some examples of some platforms where you can find freelancers that are really talented. You've got Fiverr, you've got Upwork, you've got Freelancer, 99 Designs, TopTool. I mean, these are platforms, and I'm sure there are a number of other ones out there that have freelancers. And the reason we want to use these platforms is because we have freelancers that are ready to work on them. Now, me personally, I tend to use Fiverr.com and Upwork simply because I have a history of using them and I find it really easy to use. I advise all my students to use it as well. Now, the good thing about things like Fiverr and Upwork is you can really, filter out the good and the bad talent on there because they have different rating methods to let you know where the freelancers are at. For example, Fiverr has rising star. When a freelancer is starting to rise up in the rankings, getting good reviews, they have level 2 tier, top level 3 tier, and they also have pro sellers, which are like the elite freelancers that are on there. Of course, as they get better, they charge more, but at least you know that they're good at what they do. And I always advise my students to not focus initially on getting freelancers that are basically going to be paying or charging really low amounts, because it's not always about trying to beat or get the lowest price. It's really about getting your agency and your business to a good standard and able to deliver a good service. So I always advise my students to make sure that they're finding freelancers at least within the top seller or the at least raising star level when it comes to Fiverr.com or Upwork. Another thing to keep in mind with these platforms is the great thing about a lot of these freelancers, when you do initially get them on your books for your agency, you may hire them directly through the platform. And the platform is great because it kind of acts as a security blanket, because these freelancers have really been working hard to build a reputation and they really care about their reviews and their star ratings. And by making sure that you initially get them on the platform, when you're working with them in your agency, it's also like a blanket because it protects you from the idea of them working with you and maybe underperforming or trying to reach out to your clients directly because they don't want to jeopardize their star rating or get bad reviews. And that's a really good security blanket to have about when you first initially build that relationship with the contractors. Also, it's important for you to be very much on the lookout of star ratings and reviews. So when you're looking at your contractors, make sure that you see their star ratings, what have people in the past said about their work, as well as making sure that you are able to decipher in your mind whether or not this character that you're dealing with on a communication level is actually able to do what they say. So make sure they send you examples of their work and you're able to review it and see the proof and not just kind of depend just on the reviews and the star ratings. But this is the way we will be going around finding the copywriters that would be writing and doing the service for the content creation agency. We really go into the details of how to really vet and how to find the contractors on these platforms the right way within the accelerator. But just a small tip, it really works very well when you have the ability to find talent, but at the same time to be able to decipher the good ones to have and the ones that you want to have as your B contractors, because we always suggest have an A contractor and a B contractor. But this is just a really good step in initiating your agency and getting the talent on board ready to work with you when you get a client on. So I thought I'd share this with you and make sure you understood how we'd go out around getting the content creators and the copywriters that are going to be doing the work. And just to verify, there are different ways you can do this. So you can also post a job, or you can just go and search directly for people that are able to do the copywriting and just highlight things like you're looking for someone that can do social captions or persuasive writing. And that would enable you to really just, initiate those engagements and then interview them and get them on your books. So part 6 is last but probably one of the most important parts, and that is client attraction and conversion. Now, look, I'm going to be very blunt with you here. A lot of agencies are on the defense. And what I mean by the defense is that the strategy that agencies are teaching these days, or accelerators, is to build up an agency, pay for ads, and wait for leads. However, what we do in the sales agency model is completely the opposite, because we understand that paid leads can work. However, what we can't afford to do is wait for leads to land on our page. So what we do is create more direct offense approaches to generating leads for our agency. We use scripts and direct outreach to actually get people to get the conversation going and convert them to being prospects, and then use the exact scripts that we've used and proven time and time again to closing prospects into customers. And that is the difference between the sales agency model and honestly a lot of business models that are starting online right now. We don't believe in waiting on the prospect or paying loads in ads and hoping that someone clicks to book a call. Because if I'm honest with you, if everyone's doing it right now and still people are still in a position where they're not booking calls or closing clients, there's something going wrong with the conversion and the closing. But that is where we step in. So these are literally just some steps that I felt that I could share with you, a case study that you can really take a moment to digest and understand how the model works. And like I said to you, the model isn't something we're hiding. We want as many people to have sales agencies as possible. However, what I want to emphasize is that the real difference between owning a sales agency and just having any digital agency is the ability to prospect and close, both using our scripts, our strategies, and more importantly, our system. Look, if you're interested in learning more and taking your sales agency to a new level, or even starting one from scratch, feel free to click on the link below and schedule a call with one of my representatives and hopefully get a conversation with me, but if not, someone that can really cater to seeing if the sales agency is a right fit for you. Look, I'm Leonard Sekyonda. Let me know what you thought about this video in the comments below. And if you're new to the channel, make sure you click that subscribe button and also click the box so you get notified when I post. I'm Leonard Sekyonda. Love sharing value with you. Expect more content from me, and I'll see you soon. Bye now.